What's going on, everybody? It's Far Side of the Pod. My name's Jordan. We got Ridge,
What's going on, everyone?
and we got Caleb.
Hello.
We're back with some movie words and news and whatever you want to call it.
Don't be too excited about it, Slater.
I mean, this is
Come on now, put some effort into it. You alright?
we got some movies to talk about. Damn it!
Hey. Language.
There
Alright.
goes one. There goes one.
Jeez. God, we just started and you already throwing out the unnecessary words.
Well, we only got 103 subscribers now, so we're going down, boys.
103?
Yeah,
What
so.
in tarnation happened?
I do not know.
Guys, what are y'all doing? Why are y'all backing out on us? Why are you letting people back out on us?
Well, I did hear that YouTube sometimes randomly unsubscribes people, so.
Well, make sure that YouTube didn't unsubscribe you, and if so, resubscribe and make sure that you have other people subscribe. So that way we can hit our goal of 150 people by the end of this year.
All right,
and also make sure that you follow us on Facebook.
Absolutely.
So that way we can go live over there with our other fun stuff.
All right. So let's get into it, fellas and fellettes, if any ladies are here. So we want to kick off the podcast.
Fellettes.
We want to kick off the podcast with honoring Ted Turner. If you don't know, Ted Turner is the mastermind behind Cartoon Network, WCW, and he created CNN, a bunch of other stuff. He's a legend in the wrestling world.
Field.
Yep. He's a legend in the wrestling world and a legend in our world, pretty much all the stuff that we grew up watching. So, felt like we need to take this time to honor him and thank him for all the great things that he did for us in our lives. And I hope you rest in peace, sir. Y'all got anything to say about Ted Turner?
I appreciate that he gave a place for wrestling, different wrestlers to go to. I know that it was said at one point that whoever the wrestling promotion was under on TV said that wasn't doing good and that they needed to quit. He said, "Don't worry about it," to the wrestlers because his pockets run very deep. So he was going to keep them on board no matter what. So he allowed wrestlers to keep on wrestling even whenever things didn't look too great. Also he gave us Turner Field.
Yep.
Which was a fit for the time. It was a good home for the Braves. Of course, now the field that they have now is even better. So, but Turner Field is still a field. It's just a football field now.
Yep.
That is very awkwardly shaped for a football field, but it is what it is. But it's still cool that it still stands today, and you can still see it whenever you pass through Atlanta.
As you're leaving Atlanta.
Also gave the building that's connected to where the Atlanta Hawks play.
Yep.
With CNN News sitting right beside of it too. Me and Slater had the opportunity to tour the facility of CNN News.
That's
and
cool.
While I'm not the biggest fan of that news channel on TV, it was still cool to see it and witness the history behind it. It's like walking through a museum, kind of, for me at least.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So yeah, he's done a lot of cool things for Atlanta. So thank you to Ted Turner for what he's done, and may he rest in peace.
Caleb, I know you got something to say since you're a WCW guy.
Speaking of, I'm wearing my WCW hat right now. I was all day, and yeah, it's really sad. I hate that he had to let that company go because I'm a big WCW guy. I always, people hate on me because I like Goldberg. That's fine, but it wasn't just Goldberg. It was just before all of the stupidity that showed up from you know Thursday Night Thunder, or what was it, Thunder? When they started doing Thunder, oh my god, it just But Ted Turner did Cartoon Network. I mean, he was the guy that he was our
Yeah,
childhood
he shaped our childhood for sure.
entertainment. Yeah, he was you know the arbiter of the entertainment that we got. He was the one that made it basically happen, made it viewed. So yeah, it's sad to see him go. He had a full life. He had a great life. I mean,
Oh yeah.
he had a full life, and I think that I don't think he had. I think we all have regrets, but I feel like he didn't have too many regrets, other than
Oh no,
maybe
I'm sure not.
maybe other than maybe pulling the plug on WCW. I'm certain he wishes he didn't have to do that. But rest in peace to Ted Turner.
Yes, sir. All right. Now let's get on to our regularly scheduled program. All right. So first big news of the day, which has kind of been talked about over the last, I feel like 10 years at least. Oh, ever since Django Unchained came out. It looks like we're officially getting the Django and Zorro team up movie. I know this was a comic back when Django first came out, maybe beforehand, but I know they created this comic book when Django Unchained came out. Um, I'm just going to go ahead and go off and say, if you know me, Django is one of my favorite movies ever. I absolutely love that movie. It's like a once a year at least watch for me. I could, probably quote a lot of it. A lot of it I won't quote. But this movie like hits some super high notes for me. It's I just love it so much, and I also really love the Zorro movies with Antonio Banderas. And I doubt they'd bring Antonio Banderas to play Zorro. I'm not trying to keep it out the window, but I doubt it. But either way, I think just to see these two legendary heroes on the same screen will lead for some great action moments, some great story, and I couldn't be more excited. I'm wondering who's going to direct it. I don't know if it'll be Tarantino again or not,
I think that this is going to not include Tarantino.
which is fine. Like
I think that's the one thing I've heard about this project, other than it's happening, is that this will not include Tarantino.
which is perfectly fine as long as they bring back Jamie Foxx. I feel like I'd be all right. I mean, if they don't, as long as they cast somebody good as Django, but I'd still want Jamie Foxx to play him. But no, I'm excited for it. What do you guys think?
Well, I'll ask you this, Slater. Who do you think that they should bring in for Zorro?
So I'm gonna say this, and y'all can scold or at the idea of it, but he's been my pick to play Django ever since I heard this announcement, like years ago.
Zorro.
Yeah. Ever since they made the announcement for this movie, because they've been working on it for a minute. I've always thought Pedro Pascal would be a really good Zorro. Like, just because if you go back and watch the original movies, I feel like Pedro Pascal can give off that look. Especially, like, the beginning, whenever it shows, like, it shows the old Zorro, but, like, younger. He kind of gives off that vibe for me. You'd have to give me some more time to think about somebody else, but I feel like Pedro Pascal, if they go with Jamie Foxx as Django, I feel like Pedro Pascal would be a good Zorro to his Django. And if somehow Antonio Banderas to come back, I want that. I would love that. But I'm trying to be optimistic. Realistic. But I mean, I think it'd be Pedro. I feel like that'd be the best casting for me. What do you think?
Yeah, well, it beats me because first off, the only reason why I brought this up or topic is because I knew that this would be something you'd find interesting because I know how you feel about Django as is.
Yeah.
I've only seen clips from Django, and I've only seen very little clips of Zorro. So to me, it's it's a new world still.
You got to watch. I mean, at least watch. I mean, I know a lot of people like the Legend of Zorro, which is the second one, but
Yeah.
the freaking Mask of Zorro, the first one, is like one of the best like origin story superheroes in my opinion, because it's Zorro's technically a superhero.
You're up.
I mean, and it's one of the best like origin story superheroes to me. He's got like very Batman optimistics. Like he's got a cave and he's got the mask that keeps him mysterious, and it's not as covering as Batman's is, but the story of like what Zorro fights for is really really awesome. And like I said, Antonio Banderas was amazing in that movie, and that was honestly, as a kid, that's where I got one of my first crushes. Catherine Zeta-Jones in that movie is like, whoa. I'm dead serious. You just gotta look at it. But nah, those movies are huge for me, so I definitely am very excited for it. Caleb, what do you think?
I do enjoy the idea of getting this because Django is awesome, and so is all the Zorro movies. But like, I don't have much of an opinion on it because I didn't know anything about this until literally maybe 20 minutes ago. So hopefully they do good. I don't know who they should pick. I'll take some time to think about it. Maybe I'll talk about it later at some point.
Honestly, and here's my second option, and honestly, I can argue this for my first option too. The only other person that I could see playing Zorro besides Pedro Pascal is Diego Luna, who plays Andor in like the Star Wars.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He has that look too, because Zorro's got like the pencil sharp well, not pencil sharp mustache, but like the mustache with the little goatee under his lip. He's got that like suave Hispanic look to him. So it's kind of like, when you look at Bruce Wayne, you got to have somebody that has like that classy look whenever he's Bruce Wayne instead of being Batman, And then, I mean, it's whenever, you first see Zorro, he's, well, the Antonio Banderas Zorro, he is like a criminal who gets pretty much mentored into becoming Zorro. So it's got to be somebody who could look like, if they do like his origin in a way in this movie, they got to show him scruffy and clean. But if they're going straight, he's already Zorro, then he's got to have that suave look, And I just feel like that's why I say Pedro Pascal and Diego Luna, because I feel like they could pull off either. All right, so we got anything else to say about this?
Do you think that if this movie does good afterwards, we'll get a new Zorro movie, like standalone?
I feel like if Zorro was done right in this movie, like especially if it's a new actor, right? If it's a new actor, I could definitely see it being like people liking it and them wanting to do another Zorro movie. Even if it's Antonio Banderas, I've always thought of the idea of they could do a new Zorro movie and Antonio Banderas be like the Anthony Hopkins in the original movie, because Anthony Hopkins in the original movie was the original Zorro, but then later on trains Antonio Banderas to become the new Zorro. And I feel like to have a movie, because he does have a son in the second movie, and I feel like there'd be a good movie to have like the son take up the reins as Zorro.
Son of Zorro.
Yeah,
Son of Zorro.
That would be lit. That would be absolutely gas.
That would be, yeah, that would be. I like that.
Let me ask you another question, just because, again, this is something newer to me.
Right.
Do you know how the original box office did for this? For Zorro?
Let's see.
I know Django did fairly well.
I mean, it had to do.
I don't remember if it.
It had to do decent because they did two. I know the second one wasn't as big, so.
I think maybe they had the budget already for both movies. I think they were already pre-approved, weren't they?
So the Mask of Zorro, its budget was roughly around 65 to 95 million, and it grossed over 250 million.
Okay, so it did well.
Yeah, it did well.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, one of the things that was concerning to me, and I guess it's not as much as of now, is I was afraid that if they do tell a new story, I don't want it to end up being the same level of like how they tried to do with The Crow.
Oh yeah, no. See,
Oh yeah, okay.
see, there's a difference between the.
Like The Crow was to me personally, the remake was a great movie,
Oh, I love it. Like,
but you know, and it left us with questions too. Like, should, like, if Brandon Lee was to have lived on, would he have taken the place of the old guy in
yeah,
uh, the area where we had discussed it before?
yeah.
So I didn't know if it was going to end up having the same effect of, okay, if we end up getting a remake to Zorro after this, will it be able to bring in people? Will people be interested in this?
Well, here's the thing that you got to think about about Zorro, right? So
Mm-hmm.
the difference between the Crow and Zorro is, the whole Brandon Lee passing. That
Right.
that truly affected, everything that could go on with the Crow, and
That affected that whole franchise.
it affected the entire franchise. Which, as a Crow mega fan, fuck those other movies. Sorry for the language, but I had to.
Well, that's your one F-bomb.
Screw the rest of the stuff, because the rest of the stuff, City of Angels was, it was okay, but it was nothing compared to the original. But everything after that, Salvation, whatever they did after that, was just garbage.
Right.
And then whenever they came out with the remake, I advocate for that movie, because that movie to me was a great remake. Like, it was a perfect retelling without completely telling the same story.
Right. Yeah.
And the movie, and I will say this, that I feel like that movie will eventually become a cult classic. It bombed in the movie theaters because people look at it in a way because of Brandon Lee's passing, and they think it's disrespectful to his legacy, which it's not. But I feel like it'll later on become a cult classic. Now, here's the thing with Zorro. The thing is, we don't get a lot of Hispanic heroes for anything, right?
Right.
We get, Hispanic. Pedro Pascal's Hispanic, so him being Mr. Fantastic's one thing, and Diego Luna being in Star Wars being representation, but having a hero, like a superhero almost, in it. Because, like I said, Zorro is pretty much like Batman in, like, the early 1900s.
Right.
Because he's got, like I said, he's rich, got the cave, and he's got the horse that's like his noble steed, and the sword, and the black outfit. It's like the Hispanic, the Mexican version of Batman. And I say Mexican because it predominantly takes place in Mexico. And they fight for the state of California because California was like a part of Mexico, and it's branched off, and they talk about that a lot in those movies.
Right.
And I feel like that would be a big draw to the Hispanic crowd, and it would be a really cool thing for the culture to have that representation on screen. Kind of like how, Black Panther did for the African American community. They had something to see on screen that was like them, So I feel like, especially in these trying times that we've had recently, I feel like it would be such a great thing, Like, I feel like the Hispanic culture and the community would just thrive and just love this movie. So I feel like that would be a really great idea for them to do. But that's my take on that.
Right. I think so the way you're describing this to me, this fits into another thing that I think they should make into a movie for today's day and age, or re-release for today's day and age. And this is completely north and south of each other. Don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, they both have the same motive of, due to how the world is right now, and due to how certain things are right now. Somebody like Zorro would be great for, just in general with the heroes and everything. But also, another thing that I would love to see come back, and whether it's in a movie form or just getting re-released for people to see, is Jesus Christ Superstar.
100%. 100%. And like,
And that
And like
that's a whole nother thing in of itself. But it's also something that is modernized every time it comes out.
And it had like a pretty good resurgence whenever they did that show at the Hollywood Bowl. I mean, it was weird that, no disrespect to her, but it was weird that they had like Cynthia Erivo playing Jesus in that.
Yeah.
But I will say I got to hear like Adam Lambert's part because he played why can't I think?
He played King Herod.
No, he didn't.
He did. He got that opportunity to play him at one point.
He might have.
I can't remember who he originally played, but
not who is the one that betrayed Jesus. Why am I? What?
Peter.
What'd you say, Caleb?
Or Judas?
Judas, yes, Judas Iscariot. Whatever. I don't know why that's stupid of me, but he played Judas in that, and he killed that role. Like, whoa, like his singing in that was amazing. I mean, Adam Lambert sings like nobody's business. But I agree with you. I think getting like a new resurgence of that would be cool. And they did just just got done wrapping Resurrection, the sequel to Passion of the Christ.
Right.
And I will say it sucks that Jim Caviezel is not coming back as Jesus. But I know the only reason that they didn't recast him is because it's, the resurrection. This takes place during the 3 days of Jesus going to hell and getting the keys to hell and everything and coming back.
Right.
So I understand it. But the one thing about Zorro that I did not bring up, and that it goes along with the way of me saying that it goes with the times, right? Zorro is about fighting corrupt government. Like, that is the whole point, is freeing the people of Mexico from, the rule of higher-ups who corrupt things and mistreat people and ration people for no reason and stuff like that. So, like, I feel like I said, it would just be such a big, like, image of representation for the gangs going on right now for the Hispanic community.
Right. Now, to be fair, too, just a slightly side note is, according to whenever this comes out, certain things might look different, right?
Yeah, of course.
But we know what we're talking about here, right?
Right.
So, it fits for now, and it'll fit later on, too, but,
No matter when it comes out, you'll still feel it, like, Because Django, the Django movie is, literally Django's last name is Freeman because he was a slave who didn't have a last name, so Free Man became his last name. Right. And, that movie was about Django being bought free and him going to kill, he kills his former, people who punished him on the plantation that him and his wife lived on, then having to deal with the whole thing with, Candy on Candyland, and just like the liberation of freeing the slaves and being that image for the African American community. And like, I even got Calvin to watch it, and Calvin didn't watch it for a while because, understandably, it's hard to watch movies on that subject.
Right.
And I bought it for him as a gift, and I was like, "Look, man, just watch it because he's a hero." Like, he fights against it, and whenever he watched it, he was like, I clearly see what you was talking about. It was awesome. So it's like them technically being like the same figure for different communities. It's going to mend well, and I'm going to love it.
Right.
Like, it's going to be, it's a perfect combination when you really look at it on paper,
Yeah.
All right, so anything else on this topic?
Nope.
Alrighty. All right, so next up, Ridge, you got some things on Nintendo that you want to tell us about?
Yeah. Give me just a second. I'm so sorry. Trying to make sure that I tell the news a little bit better than just saying the gist of it. Which, the gist is that Nintendo is looking to make at least 10 new movies that are in the lineup. And as far as the movies that are apparently within, I guess, the next decade or so is whenever these movies will be getting released.
I'm
So,
assuming they're going to have to do a Smash Bros. Movie at some point.
well, you know what's odd is that originally they were not talking about doing a Smash Bros. Movie.
No, I mean I can understand that, but like them bringing in different characters from different IPs, it's almost like they got to.
Right.
And I'm sure.
Okay.
I'm sure we'll get a Donkey Kong movie and a Star Fox movie. But...
Well, I was about to go ahead and give you the list. Okay. So, a Donkey Kong movie is already in deep development and is slated for a 2028 release.
Sick.
Work has begun on Mario 3, targeted for 2029.
All right.
A Star Fox movie is in development, eyeing for a 2030 release.
Okay.
A Kirby movie is in early development.
Yeah, makes sense.
Luigi's Mansion is in the pitching stage as they search for writers. A Yoshi's Island movie is in a similar stage right now. And like I was saying, despite previous statements, a Super Smash Bros. Movie is being planned, but won't release until after Star Fox.
My only thought process behind that is I'm sure we'll probably get Samus and probably like Star Fox or something like that.
Yeah, I was thinking a Metroid movie would probably be in the works at some point.
Well, hold on. We ain't through it all yet.
Okay.
Sorry. They're also exploring ideas for Bowser and Princess Peach and Rosalina as movies.
Okay.
They're also looking for writers on a Pikmin movie.
Of course.
Yeah,
and Universal is trying to get the rights for Metroid and more characters from Nintendo.
Now,
wait, who?
Metroid and more.
No, who was trying to acquire? That's right.
Universal.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear what you said there. That was why.
Universal is trying to get the rights to them. So that way they can make those movies.
I've got a good question for y'all. Do you think if they somehow try to bring Link into the Smash Bros. World, right? Do you think they're going to have the same problem that they have, like Marvel has with Spider-Man and Sony? Because Sony is doing The Legend of Zelda.
They only will probably have the rights for so long because Nintendo's not stupid,
I don't see them touching Zelda. Because I think that Zelda in of itself will end up having a great run.
Yeah.
And make tons of money. And they will want to renew the contract so that way they can continue telling stories with Zelda.
And honestly, it could make a lot of sense if they brought in the Legend of Zelda into the Mario world, because if you not even just the second movie, but in the first movie it talks about the different kingdoms, right? Like, you had the Kong Kingdom and everything else in the Ice Kingdom. They could have Hyrule as one of the kingdoms.
They could, but the other thing is I think that this is just with the set in stone,
right, yeah,
animated characters, and I don't think that they want.
And honestly, Link doesn't
animate right now.
Link doesn't have to be in the first Smash Bros. Movie, because they can have a lot of characters in it. It'll feel weird without Link, of course, yes, but
I think that they need to start they already have started the universe technically, but I think that they need to continue to grow what they have.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Before they explore the options of trying to work with Sony.
I mean, I expect,
like Disney is with Spider-Man.
I expect it to be like an MCU style thing where they have so many movies, and then there will be a Smash Brothers movie.
And it's according to if all of these other movies do well.
Right, of course.
And stuff like the things that I'm not certain on with getting its own movie right now is the Yoshi's Island. I don't see a need for a movie in that. Maybe Slater, you see differently from after watching the second Mario movie and think, yes, that'd be a good movie. But to me, I don't see a need for it to have a standalone.
Realistically, I think it could be a Super Mario movie in its own right. Like, it could be, Super Mario Brothers movie, Yoshi's Island. But the thing is like, they've already set the trend of it being different games. So, like,
Right.
I would want the third movie to probably be, like, Super Mario Sunshine or something like that,
Right. And, like, another set for me is the Bowser getting a standalone movie. I don't see a need for that. If you give a Princess Peach and Rosalina movie where they're together,
That would make sense.
working together, then yeah, sure.
Once you watch the second movie, you'll understand why that would work out.
Right. That, and also another one is the Kirby movie.
I feel like Kirby could do it. I mean, Kirby's awesome.
Kirby, yeah, Kirby. There's a lot of There's actually a long story with that. Yeah, character.
But I think my 100%, obviously Donkey Kong.
Absolutely.
Obviously, I mean, if it's already in deep development, of course it's going to come out. And I mean, just the little bit that we've seen of him, yeah, I like the idea of going off into Donkey Kong's universe.
Right.
And getting different movies down that rabbit hole.
Also, Luigi's Mansion, dude. Like,
yes.
Yep, that's on my list.
You get that little snippet of, like, that little Luigi's Mansion feel at the beginning of the first Mario movie.
Yeah, that was the first thing I noticed about that scene.
So it was just like
that, and
yeah.
The other two big ones for me is getting I'll say one isn't as big as the other, but Star Fox getting his own set of movies.
Oh yeah, especially when you watch the new movie, it makes sense.
And then,
plus, I mean, we've got the remake, the Star Fox remake that's coming out soon.
Yeah.
So,
and then the other one that sounds decent, but I'm not 100% for certain on and sure about is the Pikmin movie.
Yeah, that one's a little weird to me too.
But
yeah, I'm not sure about the Pikmin, but I feel like that's just like someone really, really like that, and they want that to be their, reality.
I mean, Pikmin.
I think for some of these, they would work better as TV shows.
Either that, or just be different characters in their, like, another movie. Like, that's why I feel like with Pikmin, because I've not really played Pikmin, so I can't really, like, say and know what happened in the game. So
right.
I don't know if there's much story to it, but they got like 4 or 5 games, so I can't really say nothing.
The main thing though is that after some of these movies, I think it's more so, let's wait and see how the box office does with some of them.
Right, absolutely.
And obviously, let's see how the storylines look for some of these others, and how the test screening audiences feel before we say that this is going to be a good idea or not.
Right. All right. So, anything else on Nintendo, fellas? Alrighty.
That's all I got.
All right.
I do have an odd question. This isn't Nintendo related.
Yeah.
The character that I'm thinking of right now I'm thinking of 2 different characters right now that I would like to see get their own sets of movies or TV shows, maybe, is Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that would be cool.
I'd like to see that at some point, and I think I would like to see Banjo and Kazooie.
Yeah, Banjo-Kazooie, buddy.
Banjo-Kazooie would be fire. And I feel like
I'm hoping they'll do a remaster of the game. That's what people really want, and honestly, that's a great idea.
And Nintendo could really do Banjo-Kazooie because they're part of Smash Bros. 2, so it's like...
Yep. Yeah.
But,
Okay, I wasn't for sure on those 2 characters, but also I had originally... The first thought was a Ratchet and Clank, and then the other one was Banjo.
I tell you another thing they should really do, like, sticking to the, like, video game era... I think they really need to do a Sly Cooper movie, and I think they
Sly Cooper.
I think they like super need to do is a Jackson Daxter movie. Like I feel like Jackson Daxter.
Yeah, Jack and Dexter.
Would be a hit, bro. Like Jack and Daxter is like super good. And like that, even Dax, you have the idea, the opportunity to have like Daxter have his own spin-off show because he had his own spin-off game.
Yep.
So, if you're listening, Sony, do it. On to the next topic. So, over the last couple of weeks that we've been gone, we got I can't remember the full name for it, but we got the trailer for the last Jackass movie.
Isn't it Jackass Forever?
No, that was the last one. Best and Last. Best
and Last. That's what it is.
Forever was the name of the fourth one.
Yeah.
You know, the trailer, of course, shows the gang getting back together, do it, and they're being reminiscent, saying that this is the last one. They can't really do any more after this. Of course, they're all getting pretty old, and from the trailer, it shows that we're going to get some new stuff, of course, but also get some old stuff. We see snippets of Bam, and those are from old stuff happening. Because the one snippet that you really see Bam in, it's from Jackass Forever, whenever they lock him in the room and like act like a snake. the barrel of the snake got knocked over, and people were freaking out, and then they run out into the room with all the mouse traps and tasers hanging up from the ceiling. So I guess Bam visited the set and did it. They just didn't put it in the last movie, so I guess they're going to show that. And of course we get some things with the legendary Ryan Dunn in it too. So it'll be for people like us who grew up watching Jackass when we were kids. It's going to be a movie, and I'm sure I'll probably get somewhat emotional watching this just because Jackass is a big part of my childhood, and I grew up watching all the movies. I watch them all the time still, and I still think they're some of the funniest movies I've ever watched. And like just having Caleb was with us on this, but when we went and watched Jackass Forever in theaters, that was arguably one of the funniest experiences I've ever had in a movie theater.
It was just wild.
And that's why I'm definitely going to go watch this one in theaters, just because getting to laugh with everybody. And I know, like my wife has said, she always wonders, how the hell they do this? Like, why do they keep doing this? And
language, Slater.
Hell's in the Bible. Leave me alone. But it's just the enjoyment you get out of it, and I know it sounds bad, but they know what they're doing, and they know it hurts, but it's the enjoyment that you get out of it, and the congregation to getting together just to laugh at a couple dudes just hurting themselves for fun is just hilarious. And lady, because there's a lady now, but still, it's a good time. Ridge, what you thinking about this movie, man?
To me, this is just going to be one of those good feel-good movies to go back and to watch the last one here, be able to get your old friends together. And sometimes, this is one of those movies that you might have had somebody that you went and watched one of them with, and you haven't hung out with that person forever, and you're like, hey, let's go and watch this last one together, It's
just like...
just there.
It's kind of a reflection of, like, real life, like,
Just a good nostalgic.
Yeah, it's like a reflection of life, of getting together, especially after you get out of high school, the great separation, when you don't really hang out with your friends much more, but y'all get together for, one good shindig for a while, and this will kind of be... That's another reason why I think I'll get a little emotional, just because it makes you think... Man, they're getting to the point where they can't do this anymore, so they're getting together for one last good hurrah. So, Bridge, go ahead and finish what you were saying. My bad, bro.
Oh, no, you're good. I was just saying, like you said, it's just a good last hurrah, and it's a good nostalgic feel, and you just remember those few different times whenever you was even younger and you would sneak around to try to watch snippets from it.
Yep.
Or at least I did. I know that's for sure around my parents. So it's just one of those good last laughs that you'll get with this crew.
This was a part of your childhood whenever you were trying to talk to somebody about it and you were calling it Jack A instead of Jackass.
Yep.
Like, man, I was watching Jack A last night. I mean, yeah, you know what I mean. Like,
That or you wouldn't even say by its name. You would just describe the movie to someone because you were just afraid of who was around the corner listening in.
yep.
Especially whenever you like, if you were me, you was talking about it to some of your friends at church or something. You was like, "Dude, have you gotten to watch the new, movie where they hurt themselves?"
Yeah.
You mean Jack A? Shh! Don't say it out loud.
I mean, heck, that's how I felt about Ghost Adventures as I was a kid.
Oh yeah.
I remember I dressed up as Zach Bagans for a Halloween thing we did one time.
I remember that.
And I just remember like Caleb and David were like, "Oh, bro, that's so sick," and then everybody else was like, "Are you even in costume?"
Gosh.
Oh man, Ghost Adventures.
But Caleb, what do you think about this, man?
I'm excited for it, but at the same time, it's gonna be sad because, like, as you know us, we were sheltered for a good while, and when we got thrust into the world, we just grabbed a hold of it and ran with it. And this was one of those movies that was just like, oh my god, this is great, because we're just dumb kids. We'd never experienced anything like that in our lives, so. But it became instantly special, and I've watched every single one of them. We went and watched the third one and the fourth one in theaters.
Yeah.
And it is sad to see it all kind of come to an end, but at the same time, I feel like this will still be a really good final hurrah. I still feel like the fourth one should have been the final hurrah, but I'm still glad we're gonna, get to see this one more time, have some laughs.
Well, I'm sure the success of like, the newer guys in it. Like,
Yeah, it'll carry on. It's just not gonna be the same because Johnny Knoxville icon, Ryan Dunn icon. I mean,
Steve-O,
all of them.
Chris
They've
Pontius.
all made their names. Yeah, Chris Pontius, Wee Man. I mean, they've all made their bones, and it's just like it's going to be hard to look past what they've done because they're the people who set the precedent for it forever.
Man, there's always parts in these movies where we'll reflect on the opening to the last movie was wild. Then like the Phantom Cam in the third movie when they would smack people with fish, or Bam would come up behind somebody and punch them with a big old boxing glove, and it would go slow motion. Just like there's always clips that we'll always look back on. But one thing I always think about is I was a buddy of mine in freshman year of high school. We went to the pawn shop and bought Jackass 3, and we was watching it at his house, and it was the one where Preston Lacey was wearing that sweatsuit and was on the workout bike. And if y'all know what he did, they had to do in that scene. It's pretty nasty. But,
it's not just pretty nasty. That's like downright blasphemous, is what it is.
And I just remember that was the first time I ever seen somebody like actually get sick watching the Jackass movie. I was on the floor laughing.
Can I throw out one of my favorite highlights from just this crew in general?
Yeah, go ahead.
If I'm not mistaken, it was WrestleMania match that they did with Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
Like it was stupid for a match, but it was hilarious.
Yeah,
it was hilarious. It's kind of like the Chris Pontius and Steve-O versus Umaga in the ring.
Yeah.
That went well.
But no, you're right, Riz. That whole segment was just really awesome, and
it was.
The build up and then the match itself.
Yeah. It's and another reason I like Jackass so much is just because Johnny Knoxville's from Knoxville, and me and him share the same birthday, so he's always been somebody I've been a huge fan of. Even before I knew that we had the same birthday, I was always a big fan, but that made me an even more big of a fan of him. And I've always been a big fan of everybody on this cast, so I'm just pumped to see it. All right, anybody else got anything else to say?
Not on this topic, nope.
Alrighty. So, next topic, and we're hitting a lot of notes for Jordan today. I tell you that. So, Ridge did tell me that Blumhouse got the rights and is doing a remake of the Blair Witch Project. And holy smokes! Now, even when I just told Brittany before we started, even she was like, "How?" Because it was before I told her to remake, but I at least loved the first movie and the reboot that they did. That was like a direct sequel to the original one. And if they stick to that same route, I feel like this will be a fine movie. It might not do like the biggest numbers, but to me, I'm gonna watch it because I love the Blair Witch Project movies. But I hope they don't go with the route of the second one. I know Brittany likes the second one a lot, but it doesn't feel like a Blair Witch movie to me. But I need to rewatch it. I know I do. But just, Blair Witch Project, you can ask a lot of people from, like, that were kids in the 90s. That movie terrified them. And, like, now if we watch it, we're like, oh, this is kind of, you can kind of be like, oh, this is kind of lame in parts and slow. But it's just, like, how real they made it look. That's one thing I'm worried about. Is because how real the original Blair Witch Project looked. It felt real, right? Like, for the longest time, some people thought it was real. It's kind of like how the effect of how Paranormal Activity had when it first came out. And this movie is special to me. I did get to meet Heather, who played Heather in the original Blair Witch movie. So, this movie is just a big hit for me, and of course I like Blumhouse. I feel like Blumhouse makes a lot of great movies. Yes, they make some misses too, but Blumhouse typically does good. So, this is another IP that I love, and I just hope they do it right. Ridge?
Okay, real quick, this is a side note, and this is only going to be understood between us three right here. Is it just me, or is it odd that we're talking about this and you met one of the people with the name Heather and what I told you that happened yesterday?
Oh my gosh. I kind of thought about it when we were setting the podcast up, but that's some crazy connection too. That's wild.
Yeah. It's really odd how that happens. So yeah, whenever you said that, I just sat there and thought, oh my god, what the heck? Why is this all connecting right now? Guys, for anyone listening, we might get into that later on down the road.
Maybe
that
Halloween
might be
time.
something. Yeah, maybe Halloween time, or we'll say a little bit closer than Halloween because we might bring it up when we're there at the Scream Chamber.
Yeah, of course.
Just to give a slight hint, is it has to do with the Scream Chamber and paranormal activities that happened there last night.
That's crazy.
Anyways,
it's crazy that I brought up Paranormal Activity too. Dang.
So, just to go back to the Blair Witch Project in general, and with Blumhouse, this is with Blumhouse, Lionsgate, and the original project team behind Blair Witch.
If I'm not wrong,
original.
If I'm not wrong, I feel like Lionsgate did Blair Witch 2, like as well.
I'm not for sure. You can look it up.
That's what I'm doing.
But I have confidence in it just because of it having... Well, I have slight confidence in it, right? And it might be misleading confidence I have in it. The confidence is because they have the original project team, when the people that did the original Blair Witch movie. That where I have slight hesitations is just in Blumhouse, because, as we all know, Blumhouse has had some hits
Yeah,
and they've had misses.
of course.
So, like I said, there's slight hesitation with it, but at the same time, I think that I also draw more so hope for the movie just because of it having the original production team
Yeah,
behind it. So,
which gives
or
me
project team, however you want to call it.
which gives me hope, even more hope, just because I feel like even though this is a remake and they can make it like an actual movie style, I feel like Blair Witch needs to be a found footage movie. Which like the reboot sequel that they did was kind of like a mixture of both. It was like a mixture of like a movie and a found footage movie. But I feel like this needs to be like a true found footage, just because Blair Witch set the foundation for found footage movies.
I think what we'll end up with is a found footage styled movie that is heavily done that way, but with the budget of a normal horror movie,
Right, and like
that Blumhouse does.
Like what they really could do, like if they want it to be like a reboot instead of like a remake, where they kind of tie in with other stuff, they could like make it like a Paranormal Activity team going to it and have like the whole like where you see their POVs and you could see them standing around, like kind of like that ordeal. So that like a what is that? Kind of like Grave Encounters is and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, Grave Encounters. Whew.
But and I'm sure we'll talk about Grave Encounters at some point because there's a third one coming out. But
Yep.
Yeah, I that's my hope for this movie is like they keep it grounded to a point, and that it's more found footage than it is a movie. But like you said, Ridge, a found footage with the budget of a bigger movie.
Right.
Caleb, what do you think?
I'm excited for it. Blair Witch is one of the, best representations of a found footage ever because it set the precedent for it. It just really is. But yeah, I'm excited to see where they go with it. I'm I mean, like you said, Blumhouse has a really good track record. They have some hits and they have some misses, but when they have a hit, boy, they have a hit.
That's true.
So
I tell you too. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
I think that this movie should be like set off of. It should be filmed off of iPhones.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh yeah. I like that.
That's what I kind of was going for, like that kind of way. I mean, because I think about it a lot now that I figured it out, but I don't know if y'all know, but 28 Years Later was fully shot on an iPhone 15. Like.
Yep.
They show like iPhones can really make movies now, and I feel like it would give that good quality, like that great quality, like what you were saying, Rich, where it felt like it's a big budget movie, but it feels still a little bit lower,
Right.
So like.
Anyways, go ahead, Caleb.
Yeah.
Well, all I was just gonna say is that I'm excited for it, but when Blumhouse has a hit, boy, they have a hit, and I feel like this could be a movie where they have a major hit on their hands. Like, no joke. I feel like if they just take the time to flesh out a really good script, that the shooting of the movie will go really, really easy for them because, you got
to bring that unsettling atmosphere, too, because that's the thing that, like, the reboot sequel didn't have the greatest things. I mean, they had moments that really made you go, "Oh snap!" Like this feels crazy. But like the original movie, it just felt like a movie of these three people hiking through the woods, and it was just like they kept going in circles, and it got to the point where they just like started pretty much losing their minds. And that it needs to bring that same feel to it.
Yep. Because that's what made it so popular.
Yeah, because like I said, it made it feel real. Like it just felt like, because that's the way they portrayed it. Like they found the footage. These are the footage that these campers that went missing found and everything. And that's what the sequel built off of, because it was like the brother of the original girl, and he wanted to try to go find her type things. And the thing is, keep it a mystery. I don't want to see a big old long armed long-legged creature. I want it to be a mystery. And like, even if it ends like
Kind of like the Bell Witch, no one really
Yeah.
knows what that thing looks like, but like we have an idea of what
Right.
we would think.
And it's just like even if the movie ends the exact same way the original movie ends, where it like shows somebody standing in the corner, like, "What are you doing?" Then type stuff. Because the point of Blair Witch was like there was a witch that would kill kids, and they would make them stand in the corner and not look while they did it, just to try to not feel the worst about it and stuff like that. But it's a great idea. It's a movie that needs to be rehashed, and a movie that needs more love for sure. So I'm excited for it. I feel like I've said I'm excited, but I just love movies, fellas.
Yep.
All right. Anything else on the Blair Witch Project? On to the next one then. All right. So Riz, you said you got some details on season 2, and I'm guessing the Chamber of Secrets of Harry Potter.
Yeah, it's just light details. It's nothing dramatic or anything. It's just that we know now that the second season for Harry Potter, the TV series, is greenlit and will be filming and begin its work in the fall of this year.
All right.
And obviously, this dives into, for those that don't know, this will follow the second book, the second movie, however you view it, and it's the second year of Harry Potter being at Hogwarts.
And I really feel like this show is going to pop off really well. I mean, Harry Potter is such a beloved fan base, and I feel like once we get into the nick of things, it's going to be blasting off, I really, I hope the first season is going to be great. I'm sure it will be. And I'm excited to see what they do with the Chamber of Secrets, because Chamber of Secrets is a lot of people's favorite. And, the Chamber of Secrets has got one of the best storylines, too, so I'm excited for that.
I'm honestly ready for it. My favorite's 4.
Oh, yeah.
Goblet of Fire.
Goblet of Fire is...
Yep, that's my
top tier.
favorite.
That's...
That's my second favorite. My actual favorite is the Half-Blood Prince.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's a good one, too. I mean,
The Half-Blood Prince has always been my favorite.
All of them are fantastic. Like, to me, there's not a bad Harry Potter movie.
You can't go wrong with Harry Potter.
Absolutely not.
No.
There's not a bad Harry Potter.
No.
And if you say that there is a bad Harry Potter, we need to have a come to Jesus meeting with you over this.
Absolutely.
Because there's no such thing as a bad Harry Potter book,
I will
film.
say this. I do. If they when they get to Goblet of Fire, right? I need that final scene to be as an impact as it was when Goblet of Fire movie happened.
Oh yeah, okay.
I mean the whole.
That scene or the end, because you got to think this is going to be more so towards the book.
Oh yeah, of course. I'm meaning like. I mean that's the first time. That's the first time we see Voldemort in full form. And
right.
That's the Cedric Diggory dying, and that whole scene of when Harry brings his body back.
Freaking spoiler alert!
If y'all ain't watched the movie, bro, I was in kindergarten when the movie came out, bro. Like,
no, you weren't.
I was very, very young.
We was very young, but I think I'm not sure when it was, but I don't think it was while we was in kindergarten.
The only reason I said kindergarten, 2005, so I was...
First grade? Or second?
It would, maybe.
It's about first or second grade, I think.
I remember I was on the...
Maybe even more
I was on the Crickets football team, so I had to be like kindergarten, first grade, second grade area. Probably.
I was 10.
So, like, I remember we played my championship game for the Crickets, and right after that, me and my mom went and watched Goblet of Fire in the movie theater. Like, it was that same day. So, like, I know I was that young. So, but like you said, Rich, all of the movies still hold up insanely well, and that movie is when I think of Harry Potter, that's one of those movies that I automatically think of is Goblet of Fire, just because of so many cool things happen in it. You know, the Triwizard Cup and getting to see Voldemort for the first time, and the whole, like I said, the whole dramatic ending to the movie, and like just set.
I mean, the plot in general is just amazing. You know, the whole, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire? And it's just like, what? What? Who? What? Me?
Also,
no.
Also, that movie sets up arguably the most emotional Harry Potter movie in the Order of the Phoenix. So it's like,
oh yeah, Order of the Phoenix.
Well, I mean, to me personally, from the fourth on is where you got the more dark, gritty feel.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
That's where all the more so darker emotions and everything kick in. Is at the end of 4 on.
Oh yeah.
That's when everything took a major turn.
Because whenever Voldemort shows up, like actually shows up, you're like, oh yeah, it's real. Like things have gotten real. Like. So.
I mean, and then the very next movie is that's where you see the Dementors, right?
Well, the Order of the Phoenix. That's where. You get more of the dark, like Rich said, the dark things start taking more of a turn. And that was when, like, the footprint of Voldemort really gets put in. I mean, yeah, what he does to Cedric and all that in that movie really, like, been like, oh, yeah, no, they were right. He shouldn't have been here. Like that's one thing, but, like, Order of the Phoenix is when Voldemort really starts to make his impact. So, yeah. But
I'm just glad this is one of those TV series that seems to me like it's going to stay greenlit for all of its seasons. They ain't just going to randomly, abruptly stop.
With this fandom, I see it going all the way through. Caleb, you got anything to say on this?
No, I mean I feel like we all pretty much share the same opinion about it.
Yeah. All right. Anything else on the Harry Potter?
Nope, that's all we had.
All right.
Ready for first season to finally hit.
Absolutely. So we got some really cool news, if you want to say groovy news. The legend of the great Matthew Lillard lives on, as Matthew Lillard has officially been cast in Man of Tomorrow, the Superman sequel. Man, I was talking to Caleb about this yesterday, and I want to get your opinion on this, Ridge. Just if you could try to guess who Matthew Lillard is going to play, who would you think? Like, do you think he'll be more of a reporter, or do you think of what I'm thinking?
I think we're thinking. I don't see necessarily a reporter. I see him being a boss or something, maybe.
Okay.
Off on the side, or maybe even one of the side people for Brainiac.
Well, here's my thing.
I don't see him having like a super major role.
Well, no, not that for sure. I mean, but here's my thing, though. I think it could be a role that leads into a TV series, or like an HBO Max series. Because James Gunn himself has said that he thinks that Matthew Lillard would be the perfect Plastic Man. And honestly, just looking at him and the way his normal hair is, and he is a tall, lengthy guy, I can see it. I feel like he could be a really cool Plastic Man. I feel like it'd be a cool show that they could do too, like how they did for Peacemaker. And what do you think about that?
I like the idea. My only thought is, will he want to do it?
Of course, it's all up to Matt if he wants to do it, but it would be cool. And
I think right now though, like we was originally talking, this year alone has been the year of Lillard.
Absolutely, and I'm glad that he is finally getting his flowers. I mean, he's always been beloved, but the fact that he's
finally making a comeback.
Like, he's getting all these major roles, I mean, getting to be in Daredevil, getting to be in Five Nights at Freddy's, and
Yep.
coming back in Scream, and now he's going to be in the DC, and it's just like, man, he is really popping off, and I'm so proud of him, man. As a lifelong fan of him, I'm just so proud of him, man.
And it's finally, like, it's been so long. It's like, where the heck have you been, man? But at the same time, I'm glad you're back, and I'm glad that you are getting the attention you deserve
Absolutely.
right here. And I will say it again. If you have not watched Daredevil, you really need to.
Yeah.
Because just his character alone, it's first off, it's a new character that hasn't been in the MCU before, hasn't been in the comics before. It's a completely new character just made for Daredevil. But at the very end, the possibility of what what this character is setting up as means that he'll more than likely still continue to be in the MCU, and I'm here for it, and I'm excited to see what happens.
And Caleb, I know you probably pretty much backpack what we said, but you got anything else to say about it?
I'm just happy for the guy because, like, we're all big Matthew Lillard fans. Shaggy from Scooby Doo. I mean, Scream. I mean, he's done so many beloved movies, and he's a really, really good human being.
Yes,
and I think that when the whole thing was coming out, it broke my heart to hear him say that he didn't think people actually liked him. He did that; it was all just nostalgia. And I was like, dude, like, the nostalgia is just part of it. Like, you're a genuinely good human being.
Yeah, he is.
So like,
as somebody who has actually met the man and hugged the man, the things that I saw that guy do just standing in line when I was meeting him is like, it would warm your heart. He is one of the best human beings I've ever met. And just the fact that, and I understand where he's coming from on that nostalgia thing, but it's also kind of like a self-conscious thing because he doesn't feel like he's anybody special.
Yeah,
and
of course,
But he's special to people like me, people to like y'all.
He's special to this era of
our generation,
people that are becoming adults here.
Yeah.
And having him back at the forefront of it means a lot to us.
And the thing is like the fact that he is becoming big for the next generation too, or like the current generation, like him being William Afton in the FNAF movies, like because one of the kids Dimebet in line who Matthew Lillard literally recognized from a previous con and like took her to the front of the line when he recognized her was because she loved FNAF so much and loved him as William Afton. So like, the fact that he is making an imprint on the next generation as well is just, it's just it's somebody that deserves this. It's that we're used to people being, Hollywood and like they seem like good people, but behind cameras they're really not great people. And to finally see somebody that we know is a wholeheartedly genuine person and someone that deserves this love is actually getting it. All right, so. On to the next topic.
Real quick, if we ever get another Dungeons and Dragons movie, can we include him in it?
Please.
Yes.
I mean,
for the love of all.
Please. I mean, I think it would be cool if there was if they did a movie where they were it was a group of friends playing D&D characters, and he was the dungeon master, and say the other people that are playing the game with him, they play the actual characters that they go through. But since he's the dungeon master, he's just like the narrator of things happening. I feel like that'd be awesome.
Or, no joke, if you could find a spot for him in this new Warhammer franchise coming up,
yeah, absolutely,
please do so.
Absolutely. All right, on to the next topic. So, Ridge, you got some news about Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
Yeah, we got, of course, guys, we say it every time. Yep. It would not be one of our episodes right now if we did not talk anything Marvel related. It's just a part of our bread and butter is knowing way too much about Marvel.
Even outside of the podcast, we're always talking about Marvel.
And so Weekly Entertainment or Entertainment Weekly, however it's said, got a hold of the first 3 pages of the script to Spider-Man Brand New Day. And in the pages, it goes into great detail of the notes that were given from, different people that are working on the script. And like you see a sketch of the apartment to show that he is completely alone in it. Let's see here. Like one of the notes says that for the first time, Peter is entirely alone. Like they are making this a known statement that this is Peter by himself. There's no more dark money or gadgets. All of his tech is stuff that he makes himself. Like he has a 3D printer type deal that helps him make his own suits. Like this is bare minimal of everything that he can do by himself. Let's see here. I'm trying to find everything. Like there's notes on. Like one of the notes says, "I think we can fit the camera inside the mask," and this is getting told to the director by one of the producers or something, or I can't think of exactly who it is. Well, I know who it is because it says in the note somewhere.
But I mean, we do know.
Yeah, the producer.
We do know from the trailer that works out.
Yep. And there's also, notes that say, "Let's make sure the suit has wrinkles."
Absolutely.
While he swings away. And the reply back in the note says, "Yes, the new suit made by Peter Parker, inspired by his encounter with Toby and Andrew, needs to be in the new suit with real fabric, seams, and wrinkles."
And that's what we do in the Spider-Man.
Yeah, so... And I sent the notes to you guys too, and the script to y'all, so that way you would be able to look it over and see if there was anything interesting that popped out to you as well.
Alright.
So, what do y'all see that stands out to you in this?
Let's see.
I know it's last second questions and everything. There's also a part of it where it shows that there is signs of unhealthy living. They are really deep diving into his loneliness and how it's affecting his well-being.
I do like how it says like the wide lens causes real vertigo.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's so used to the eyes like closing and like opening and closing.
Right.
So that's pretty cool. Let's see. I mean, everything that they note, we've like seen that a lot of these notes have come to fruition, like him walking back and forth on a 3-inch beam 100 stories above Manhattan. And
well, it turns out that they changed that to where he's just sitting on the beam.
Oh yeah, you're right. But they did say like him sitting upside down on it too.
And like the phone shoot where we see Ned and MJ on the phone, one of the notes is, "Hey, can we do this in one take? Time is money." And the answer is, maybe.
It's funny because there's a part on it that, like, in parentheses, it says number 1, Tom, and there's a bunch of question marks and exclamation points. It says, "How did Tom get a hold of my script?"
Yeah.
But no, I mean, this is gonna be awesome, man. We can arguably say now that Michael's out of the way that the movies that we're really looking forward to, besides like Master of the Universe and everything, is Spider-Man and Doomsday. And My mind is always going to be on Doomsday, but it's like I'm more set towards Spider-Man because we're 2 months away from it. So I'm pumped. Now you did mention that there's something else about Spider-Man.
Yeah, so something else. Well, the last few things that we're talking about, guys, is Spider Man. So the next thing to also note, other than the script, hold on. First off, Caleb,
Yeah,
have you had a chance to read over any of this? Is there anything standing out to you on it?
I haven't had a chance to read over it.
If you want to read it now, you can while I dive into this next bit.
Where's it at? Did you send it to us?
it's in the
Yeah, send it in the group chat.
Let me open it. I'll look for, in the wait,
in the
in
Facebook.
the messenger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, in Messenger. So, as you can tell, this is all last second stuff that we do sometimes. And that's on me. I should have sent it earlier, but I did not. So, another thing that we have learned is that, according to from test screenings and rumors, is that they are no longer going to have Man Spider be a thing that happens in the movie due to fear of it scaring children too much. They realize, hey, there are a lot of kids that come out to watch Spider-Man. Obviously, Spider-Man is one of those heroes that kids really look up to and enjoy themselves. And we don't want to scare them away from Spider-Man. So,
Which
Man Spider
I kind of
is no
understand
more.
it. I kind of understand that because it was something that I thought of myself, but I also was like interested in seeing it too. But
Right. I mean, there's always going to be an interest in being able to see this, something like this play out. And I think that maybe, if lucky, Disney might be able to do a little Halloween special that includes
like
Man
it
Spider.
could be like a nightmare that he has or something like that.
Right. Like an animated, like, you know, how they did Marvel Zombies.
Right.
Maybe down the road we could get something like that. But, like I said, I think it's a good thing that we're leaning away from it. I think that some scenes will be, instead of from him turning into Man Spider, it's just from his unhealthy living style that we see, and how he explains it in these first 3 pages of, you know, signs of unhealthy living and, you know, just the regression from being alone. He probably ain't eating well neither, you know. He's going through major depression probably.
It's kind of like I said before the pod. It's like even some people were pointing out in the when the trailer came out. This movie does give off like that Spider-Man 2 vibe, where he's having that existential crisis where he's identifying more as Spider-Man instead of both, like having a hard time being Peter Parker and Spider-Man. He's just trying to be more Spider-Man,
Right. And I also think, though, like certain things still could have to do with that Venom or the symbiote could already be attached to him, because, if you go back to the scene where he's in the cocoon, you see one of his hands is completely black.
Right.
So could that be because of the symbiote? And whenever we see, whenever he falls out of the cocoon, there's somebody or something that's catching him. There's only 2 options that come to mind for me. It's either going to be Daredevil that catches him, or it's going to be the symbiote that catches him.
Right.
It's the only thing that makes sense to me. So that, and if we're leaning away from this Man Spider thing, maybe the symbiote is what changes his eyes.
And honestly, that would make sense, especially if you play like the Spider-Man 2 game, like how the symbiote treated, because like the way we saw the symbiote treat Peter in like Spider-Man 3, and the way the symbiote treated Peter in the Spider-Man 2 game was like different, like vastly different in my opinion.
Right.
It's just like, because like you have that whole mission where you're trying to track Peter down as Mary Jane through the tunnels, and he's like jump scaring you and like that scream and everything. Like, I feel like that'd be cool to like if they still wanted to have some kind of like a scary undertone vibe to it, they could do it with the symbiote.
Right. And maybe there's some of it too where it's not that we don't see him fully go symbiote with the Venom suit until the very end, like in
Like a post
uh, the post credit scene. But it would also make sense as to why his body randomly transforms and becomes stronger, and the reason why he's able to take on Savage Hulk.
And honestly, like I've said this before, that post credit scene for this, or it could be like a post credit scene for Doomsday, like having the famous comic book scene where he's popping out of the ground, like he dies, or quote unquote dies, and the symbiote Spider-Man crawls out of the grave, type of thing. So it could be something like that too.
Caleb.
I pretty much share the same opinion with y'all on that one. I did read over some of the script notes. I'm not. It just seems like this is going to start off pretty sad.
Oh yeah.
So, I'm excited for the movie though. I'm ready for it. I'm not going to speculate too much on it because I do want to be surprised with what direction they take it. So.
Right.
All right, and Reggie, we got one more thing on Spider-Man, man. Go ahead. What? I hate this picture. I'm sorry for this tiny picture, fellas. What in the world? I don't know what this program did, but all right.
It's okay. We run into hiccups, and this is just one of those times that we've ran into a hiccup unexpectedly. So, speaking of post-credit scene, it sounds like the post-credit scene for Spider-Man Brand New Day is going to be we're going to get Captain America is coming to Spider-Man because he still remembers who Peter Parker is, and he's coming to recruit him to the Avengers team. He realizes that everyone's there except for the kid. So where's the kid at? No one knows who, quote unquote, the kid is, and maybe he says Peter. Who is, like, everyone's going to be confused on what he's talking about, but he'll go to Peter Parker and talk to him, be like, "Hey, I need you with us on this." And it's obviously going to be confusing for Peter Parker too, because he don't. Sorry, I'm getting stumbled up. No one should remember who he is. But out of nowhere, Cap does. Also, randomly, Captain America's back. So, what's the big deal? So, yeah. It's going to be a cool post-credit scene. I also heard, though, that Bruce Banner won't remember who Peter Parker is, but the Hulk himself will. Apparently, that's a thing in the comic books.
I guess that makes sense because by the time that No Way Home happens, Bruce is back in in his normal form.
Right. Like he's figured out with the wristband thing on how to control Hulk again. But whenever Hulk finally busts through again and becomes Savage Hulk. Also, I've heard that there's been talks of this Savage Hulk being called Super Hulk.
I mean, I can almost picture that because I feel like, when I think of Savage Hulk, I think of Age of Ultron. Like whenever Wanda gets into Bruce's head and he's going rampant in Wakanda, or the town that's supposed to be on the outskirts of Wakanda.
Right.
So,
but at the same time, this is somebody else that, like, Jean Grey is messing with his head now.
Yeah.
And apparently it's going to turn him more so gray as well. Uh, but apparently, yeah, the Hulk is going to be the only person that, or the only being thing, whatever you want to call him, on the Earth 616 that still knows who Peter Parker actually is. And maybe that explains why whenever Bruce Banner sees him, he's a little bit hesitant on what his name actually is because he slightly somehow remembers Peter Parker. Just doesn't fully understand why.
Yeah. And I'm sure by the time if they get Hulk to calm down, when Bruce comes back, he'll kind of be like, "Oh dang."
So maybe Bruce will be able to know who he is, or maybe it's still just the split personality and split knowledge, and it's only the Hulk that still knows.
Yeah. Caleb, what do you think, big dog?
I think that makes a lot of sense, honestly, for the Hulk, especially. I'm not sure how they plan on, Captain America's return or how they plan on him explaining how he remembers, but I'm certain they'll figure out a way to make it make sense. So
the way, apparently, from what I've heard, the way that he is able to remember is because he's been on a different universe the entire time. During the
instead of
events
pretty
of
much
No
going
Way
back
Home.
well, they pretty much say that he went back in time, but
It created another universe.
parallel universe.
yeah,
Whenever he goes back in time to live out his life with Peggy and have a kid, he creates
it causes
another universe.
It causes
Right.
another branch off. Yeah.
So, and I could tell you what I know for Doomsday, but that's a long list.
We can keep that for next week.
We can keep that for a while, I think, because I'm not 100% sure on what's real and what's not that plot link, and I don't remember everything from it. If you want to know that plot link, though, you can jump over to, after this podcast is over, jump over and watch The Cosmic Wonder, who has the full plot link that is rumored to be the full movie. But it's broken down into, I think, almost a 20-minute video.
Word.
So, but it tells you more so about Cap and how that branch timeline goes on, and then how he ends up back at the 616.
All right.
So, yeah.
Anything else, fellas?
That's all we got.
No.
All right, guys. Like we say every video, we appreciate y'all and love y'all. If you stuck around through this video, even if you're watching later on, we thank you. Keep sharing us out. If you ain't subscribed, or if mysteriously unsubscribed, resubscribe. And yeah, guys, we'll be back on next week. I'm sure we'll have more news. I'm sure, like we always say, we'll always have more Marvel news of some sorts. And yeah, anybody got anything to say before we get off?
Yep, so next weekend we'll have our episode, and then on the 24th, which is the weekend after, I don't know if you want to do an episode or not, because I know that me and you will be live on
Could be going to the concert route.
Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep, because of the concert in Nashville. So, I don't know if you'll want to do another episode or not, or how we want to do it, but we'll figure something out. Like I said, I'm thinking we should try to go live during that time.
Yeah, for sure.
So don't forget about that, guys. Also, like I said, we're going to keep on bringing it up until it actually happens. Later on down the road, we got CreepyCon that we will be at. We got media passes.
Yes, sir.
I think that's happened since our last episode. I don't think that we've gotten to discuss that.
Nope.
No, I don't think we've actually announced that at all, actually.
Nope.
So we'll announce
So,
that now.
surprise.
That is actually going to be happening. Also, we'll be there, and then after that, we'll have the kickoff event at the Scream Chamber, where we'll have a booth set up with a table that you guys will be able to sign and leave your names, get to hang out with us, talk to us for a little bit, pick up one of our cards, and we'll try. I haven't talked to him yet still, which is slacking on my end, but I figured I'd wait till we're a little bit closer. We're going to try to do an interview with at least, I'm going to try to get 2 of them to do an interview with us. I think we'll get approved. I know we'll at least get approved for one of the interviews, more than likely. So we're going to do that. We'll also be raffling off, or we won't be, but they will be raffling off from us tickets into the Scream Chamber, which you'll want to be there and get one of the raffle tickets because the raffles are cheaper. If I'm not mistaken, for one raffle ticket than one ticket into the haunt itself. So make sure that you're there and make sure that you put in for that. And we'll be there for that whole event.
Yep.
So
we got good things coming, people. So be subscribed and be ready for it. All right, guys. I guess that's it for the week. We'll see you guys next week. We hope you have a good one. Peace out.